In this video, we'll be covering everything you need to know about administration and Targetprocess. I'll go over three main topics: how to define roles and connect them with processes, how to enable and customize email notifications, and how to extend Targetprocess with plugins and mashups. To map your exact company structure to Targetprocess, you'll probably want to adjust the system's predefined roles and processes. To do this, click on the gear wheel icon in the upper right corner and choose Settings from the menu. You should first go to Roles in the System Settings section. Here you can see all roles that are currently defined in the system. If these don't match your needs, you can either edit the existing ones or just delete them and add new roles. Adding a new role is quite simple. Just give it a name and a description, define the access rights for the different entities that we have in Targetprocess, and you're good to go. Now that we know how to configure roles, let's move on to process setup. You can access it from the gear wheel menu. Once selected, the process setup screen will appear. On the left-hand side, you can find the different processes that are currently available in Targetprocess. The first process is already selected for configuration. Below the title, you can see how many projects use this process. This is important information to note, as any process changes may have an effect on active projects. Processes define the framework for the projects that use them. The first part of this framework centers around practices. Practices allow you to toggle which feature sets are available within a project. For example, deactivating bug tracking within a project will make it impossible to add any new bugs. The feature will completely disappear. Removing unnecessary practices can help simplify your system for casual users. You should take some time to check out the different options and find the right combination for you. There is one practice with advanced settings that we should look at. The planning practice can be adjusted so that you can estimate work in ideal hours instead of points. Once you're done with practices, you can check out other areas like custom fields and terms. Custom fields allow you to create additional customized attributes for entities within the projects that use this process. They can be shown as units on cards, can be used for filtering on views, or to display as lanes. You can create several different types of custom fields, such as a drop-down menu, text fields, checkboxes, and many more. Next, we have terms, which allow you to adjust the existing terminology in Targetprocess. For example, if you don't like the term user story, you can just rename it to whatever you want. There is one more general thing we should mention about process administration. The administration of processes can be delegated to other users, even people without an administrator role. To do that, you can go to the Process Admin section and add new process administrators. These people will then have access to the setup of the specific process you have granted them rights for. But let's move on to the real fun part of the process setup: workflow configuration. Certain kinds of items have workflows in Targetprocess. We call these items assignables. Assignables have several states that they can be in. Picture a simple workflow visualized on a board: to do, in progress, and done. You can add new states to this workflow, edit existing ones, and delete states, all from the workflow section. To do this, just select the entities that you would like to edit the workflow for. I'll pick this user story here. We can now add a new state by moving the cursor between the two existing states and clicking on the plus icon. Editing existing states is also easy. Click on the wheel gear icon of the state you would like to edit. From here, you can adjust all the information about the state, such as who is responsible for it and where the cards move to and from. You can, of course, also delete the state if you don't need it anymore. To reorder states, you can just drag and drop them. When you have several teams working on a project, you should check out the team's workflows. In this case, it is possible to split states from the overall project workflow into smaller, more granular sub-workflows for the teams. Custom rules allow you to automate certain actions in Targetprocess. By default, most actions for cards need to be done manually. Let's think about a simple example. You have a user story with several tasks. As soon as the last task is done, you also consider your user story is done, but Targetprocess leaves the user story untouched because we don't know if you have another testing state that the user story should first go through. In this example, you can use custom rules to tell Targetprocess to automatically move the user story to the done state when all of its tasks are done. There are a lot of custom rules to change the default behavior of Targetprocess. Just browse through them and pick whatever best suits your use case. The business value section lets you customize the names and values of different business values we have in Targetprocess for entities like user stories, bugs, requests, and more. You can also delete existing business values and add new ones. From time to time, it makes sense to notify a certain person, role, or even an entire team when something happens to an entity. This can be achieved with Targetprocess's notification system. To enable notifications, you need to go to the respective section in System Settings. Just check the Enable Email Notifications checkbox and enter a sender's email address. Below that, we see different templates for the actions that Targetprocess sends notifications for. Templates are defined with HTML code and special placeholders. Feel free to adjust these templates to your needs. Now it's time to decide when Targetprocess should send you one of these notifications. For this, you'll need to open System Settings and go to the Processes section. Select the process you would like to configure notifications for. Go to Notifications and select a user story from the drop-down box. Now you can see 4 tabs with different actions for this entity. You can see that we have the option to select if any roles should be notified when a new entity of this type is added to the system. Let's select Project Manager here. You can do this for any action and for any entity that has a workflow. Don't forget to press the Save button when you're all done. Now let's move on to plugins and mashups. Plugins and mashups can be used to significantly extend the functionality of Targetprocess. All our plugins and mashups are free to use and can be installed from within the system. Plugins are extensions to the core functionality of Targetprocess, whereas mashups are little JavaScript snippets that can extend the UI of Targetprocess in a fast, simple, and effective way. You can find both extension possibilities in the system settings. Here we can see the plugins and mashups section. You should check what kinds of plugins we have to see if there's anything useful for your context. There's plugins for source code integration, test automation, synchronization with external bug trackers, and something really cool that's called email integration, which can help you with requests from external users. You should definitely have a look at this one. Next we have the mashup section. Here you can either write your own mashups by clicking the Add Mashup button, or you can select existing mashups from our mashups gallery. There's way too many mashups to go through in this video, but we recommend you take some time to scroll through and check them out, as they can be really helpful. We hope you have fun configuring Targetprocess to your needs. Don't hesitate to get in touch with our support team if you have any questions.